I didn't expect silence to feel this loud. It was the kind of silence that presses against your ears, heavy, suffocating, the kind that only comes after laughter dies too quickly. My mother was still holding my diary. My diary. Her fingers curled around the edges like it belonged to her, like my thoughts, my words were something she had the right to perform. "And listen to this," she said, smiling like she'd just found the best part. My chest tightened. I could feel every pair of eyes on me. My dad, my younger brother, my aunt across the table, even my cousin trying not to laugh but failing. I didn't move, didn't breathe, because if I moved, I might break. "Emily," my dad said, shaking his head like he was disappointed, "you're too sensitive, always have been." Sensitive. That word again. The word they used every time I reacted to something they didn't think mattered. The word that made everything I felt invalid. "I mean, seriously," my brother added, smirking, "who even writes stuff like this anymore?" More laughter. My mom closed the diary slowly, still smiling. "I just think honesty is important. If you're going to feel this way, maybe you should say it out loud instead of hiding it in a book." I looked up, finally, and for a second, just a second, I wondered what would happen if I said everything, if I told them how small they made me feel, how every joke cut deeper than they realized, how I stopped sharing anything real because it always turned into this. But I didn't, because I already knew what would happen. They'd laugh. Again. So instead, I reached for my phone. No one noticed at first. They were still talking, still joking, still living inside a version of reality where I was just the sensitive one. I unlocked it, scrolled, found the email, the one I had received 3 hours earlier. I hadn't planned to open it here. I hadn't planned this moment at all, but suddenly it felt right, perfect even. "Emily, are you even listening?" my mom said, slightly annoyed now. I looked at her, really looked at her, at the way she sat so comfortably in control of everything, at the confidence in her voice, at the certainty that nothing in this moment could shift the balance. I took a slow breath. "I am," I said, quietly, and then I tapped the email. The screen lit up in my hand. For a second, I just stared at it, not because I didn't know what it said, but because I understood what it meant. Not just for me, for all of them. "You're being rude," my mom said sharply. "Put your phone down when someone is talking to you." Someone. Not your mother. Someone. That small shift in language, it hit me differently now, like I was already outside of this family in ways they hadn't noticed yet. "I just got something important," I said calmly. That word again, calm. I could feel it now, settling into my chest, replacing the tightness that had been there moments ago. My brother laughed under his breath. More important than this? I doubt it. I didn't respond. I just turned my phone around and placed it gently on the table, right in the center, where everyone could see it. No one leaned in at first. They were still expecting nothing, just another one of my overreactions. "What is this?" my dad asked. "Read it," I said. Simple. Flat. My mom reached for the phone first. Of course she did. Control wasn't something she gave up easily. Her eyes scanned the screen. Once, then again, and this time slower. The smile faded, just slightly, but I saw it. "What is this supposed to be?" she asked, her voice tighter now. "Just read it out loud," I said. The same way she had read my diary, the same tone, the same expectation. For a moment she hesitated, and that hesitation, that tiny pause, it shifted something in the room. "Mom?" my brother said. "What does it say?" She didn't answer immediately, and now everyone was paying attention.
really paying attention. Finally, she spoke. "Dear Miss Carter," she read, her voice no longer confident, "we are pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted." Silence started creeping in. "Effective immediately as Senior Operations Director." My cousin stopped smiling. "Effective immediately as a Senior Operations Director with a starting annual compensation package totaling—" She paused. Her eyes flicked up to me, then back to the screen. $280,000. The room didn't just go quiet, it dropped, like the air had been pulled out of it. No laughter, no smirks, no commentary. Just stillness. Pure, heavy stillness. "That's not—" my brother started, but his voice didn't even sound convinced. "It's real," I said, still calm, still steady. "I got the email 3 hours ago." No one moved. My dad leaned forward slightly. "Since when were you even applying for—" "Since I realized I needed to leave," I said. That stopped him, completely. "I've been interviewing for the past 3 months. Remote at first, then in person, quietly." My mom's grip tightened around the phone. "You didn't tell us," she said. It wasn't a question. "No," I said. "I didn't."
"You kept this from us?" my dad asked, his voice now carrying something unfamiliar. Not authority, not disappointment, uncertainty. I looked at him, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel smaller. "I kept a lot of things from you," I said quietly. My mom placed the phone down slowly, like it had become something fragile or dangerous. "You don't make decisions like this alone," she said, trying to regain control. "You're part of this family." That word again. Family. It sounded different now. Hollow. "Am I?" I asked. The question hung in the air. No one answered, because they all knew. They had heard what she read. They had laughed. "You read my private thoughts out loud like they were a joke. You've done that my whole life, just in different ways." My brother shifted in his seat. "Okay, come on, it wasn't that serious." "It was," I said. Not louder, not emotional, just certain. And that certainty shut him up instantly. "I stopped sharing things with you years ago, because every time I did, it turned into this." I gestured lightly toward the table, toward the diary, toward them. My dad rubbed his face. "We were joking, Emily. You know how this family is." Yes, I did. That was the problem. "That's exactly why I didn't tell you," I said. Silence again, but this time it wasn't just shock. It was discomfort. Real, unavoidable discomfort. "You think you're better than us now?" my mom asked suddenly. There it was. The shift. Not control, not dismissal, defensiveness. "No," I said. "I think I finally chose myself." That landed harder than anything else, because it wasn't an attack, it was a truth. And truths are harder to argue with. "What does that even mean?" my cousin asked quietly. "It means," I said, standing slowly, "I signed the contract this morning." Chairs creaked slightly as people adjusted, watching me now. Not laughing, not dismissing, just watching. "I start in 2 weeks," I continued, "in another city." That hit differently. Physically, I could see it in their faces. "You're moving?" my dad asked. "Yes." My mom shook her head. "You're being dramatic." I almost smiled. Almost. "No," I said softly. "This is the least dramatic I've ever been." I picked up my diary, the same one she had been holding minutes ago. It felt different now. Not exposed, not vulnerable, just mine. "I used to write in this because it was the only place I felt heard," I said. No one interrupted. No one laughed. I don't need that anymore. I placed it back down, not gently, not aggressively, Just final. My dad stood up slightly. Emily, you don't have to leave like this, as if there was a better way, a more acceptable way. For you, maybe, I said. That stopped him. Again. My mom crossed her arms. So that's it? You get one job offer and suddenly we're the problem? I looked at her. Really looked at her. And for the first time, I didn't feel angry. Just clear. You were always the problem, I said quietly. I just didn't have the proof before. Her face tightened, but she didn't respond. Because deep down, she knew. I'm not leaving because of the job. I'm leaving because of this. I glanced around the table one last time, at the people who had defined me for so long, at the voices that had shaped how I saw myself, and how small I had allowed myself to feel. I just needed something strong enough to remind me I could. That was the truth. The real one. The one that mattered. My brother looked down. My cousin avoided eye contact. My dad didn't speak. And my mom? She said nothing. Because for the first time, there was nothing left to say. I picked up my phone, turned, and walked toward the door. No one stopped me. No one called my name. And somehow, that silence felt different. Not heavy, not suffocating. Free. I stepped outside, took a breath, and for the first time in a long time, it didn't feel like I was escaping. It felt like I was finally choosing where I belonged. And this time, it wasn't with them.